On this week's episode, we share Peloton's new field testing release, as well as their new ad campaign.
And I interviewed Annika Zeyen, an accomplished para-athlete, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Here are your hosts, Mark O'Rourke in the UK and Amanda Siegel in the US.
Welcome to episode 10 of Pelo Buddy TV, the only show by the Peloton community for the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark O'Rourke. Mark, are you there?
I am, Amanda. Great to be on episode 10 and looking forward to doing the show with you.
Absolutely. You know what? We look so forward to these weekly episodes so that we can get to chat about all things Peloton. And I know, Mark, we have another busy week, right?
Absolutely. And while I'm speaking, Amanda, we had some great feedback come in. I just want to read it out because I think it's really good. Whether you're a Peloton lover or a Peloton curious, you will enjoy this podcast. New weekly Peloton information on classes, instructors, equipment plus, interviews with community members. Fun! This is a welcome alternative to the large Facebook community that is becoming more cumbersome to navigate. I look forward to listening to this on Sundays to catch up on all that is Peloton. Who knew Ben was a DJ and featured in Forbes? That was from Candy, Amanda. Isn't that great that people are enjoying the podcast?
Oh my goodness, I had not seen that, Mark. That's amazing. That is so cool. So yeah, you know what? I think this is a good opportunity to tell folks, if you like the show, let other people know about it. You know, put stuff on Facebook, put stuff on Instagram, and for absolutely review it. I think that's a wonderful opportunity to let folks know that this is a wonderful show. We do share, great and interesting information, everything happening for Peloton for the week. So, well, thank you, Candy. Don't know who you are, but I do appreciate you watching, and hopefully Mark and I do as good a job moving forward and keep you entertained, right?
Absolutely.
Before we get started with the news, we would like to tell everybody how they can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode, as well as breaking news, is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of the video and hit notify to make sure you never miss an episode.
Yeah, and it's not forgetting the podcasts as well. We're on every podcast platform out there, and if you don't watch us on video, then listen to us on maybe driving on the way to work.
Absolutely. And finally, we are on Facebook and Instagram too. So just search for Pelo Buddy, follow us on all those platforms for all of the latest news.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Peloton is looking for members of the Peloton community who might be interested in alpha beta testing new features, accessories and other products. They're calling their new program the Peloton Field Testing Community. Upon signing up, members are asked about several items they might be interested in testing. This includes both what class formats you'd like to test or provide feedback on, as well as what features might interest you. You're also asked to submit your mailing address in the event you are selected for a test that requires you to be sent an accessory or some hardware for a new product. Members who join will be subject to an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, stipulating that they're not to share any information about the site, new features, or new items they might test. Amanda, this is an exciting opportunity to assist Peloton, and I know I'd be interested very much in trying out the rower. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to get members involved in in what they're looking at moving forward. There's no question that they listen to us, and everything that they've chosen to add has always been supplemented by saying, we hear you, you're a community, we want to listen to the community. So this will be interesting, and it'll be interesting as to who signs up and who gets selected. So I guess we'll have to wait and see for that, right?
Yeah. It'd be interesting who signs up, won't it? I don't know whether we will, possibly. Maybe.
Yeah, well, with that NDA, we'll have to be careful. But we'll definitely have to make sure what happens down the road. But that is really exciting. Well, Mark, to switch gears just a little bit, the week did start off with a little bit of controversy in the Peloton world. With just a few weeks away from our presidential election here in the United States, tension is definitely a little high. An instructor made a comment on a ride last Sunday that was construed by some as political, but yet to others it was a joke about football. Needless to say, the ride was removed from the on-demand library, and CEO John Foley went on to respond on social media, stating that he was sorry and would not allow the brand nor platform to become politicized. I know, Mark, that it's got to be really hard for the instructors because when they're up on rides, they're just sharing what they think, and they do need to be careful. I think everybody needs to kind of keep that bit back and kind of keep their own political views to themselves, as will we. So, but we did feel that it was important to report it because it did make big news at the beginning of the week. And I think one has to be sensitive to everybody's political orientation, whatever they believe in, and the instructors do need to keep that in mind with rides.
100%, Amanda. We're in a very it's a very sensitive area of political awareness and political views. But you know what? We're part of Peloton, and Peloton's supposed to be fun, and we're supposed to enjoy it. So yeah, I think it's possibly best to keep one's opinions to oneself and just get on with what we're doing within that Peloton community. So anyway, it was sorted out really quickly, and that was great to see.
Absolutely. What else has been happening?
Well, Amanda, as Peloton's membership base continues to grow, Peloton is trying to grow their team at their headquarters. As we learnt last week with the new Chief Information Officer, one interesting job posting that has appeared this week is in their mergers and acquisition team, specifically for a Senior Director of Technical Diligence for M&A, merger and acquisitions. As we know, Amanda, Peloton is sitting on quite a lot of cash right now, so has the flexibility and capability to make some strategic acquisitions if the right opportunity arises. The person hired to do this job would help Peloton look for the right company to acquire and to complement Peloton's current offerings. It's worth noting the job listing mentions that they would also look for teams to make investment and partnerships with as well. So Peloton is exploring many different avenues for growing at this time. A lot of users hope that Peloton might acquire Tonal. However, no rumours have surfaced. There are a number of other players too who have an early version or connected fitness strength device that could make acquisition targets for Peloton. Or Peloton could instead develop their own entirely in-house mechanism. So through that, it might take a bit longer, but yeah, the market's going to be an interesting one, Amanda.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think that's what I admire the most about the company is that they are, we keep reporting each week about all these incredible people that they're hiring and finding. And I think that just keeps the level of their expertise up at the top of their game. And it's one that we should be really proud of. So this will be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see where this goes and who they end up hiring. And
Amanda, you know what? They never stand still, do they, Peloton? And I think as I've said on past episodes, they're always looking for new people, and they generally get some great people, don't they? Who wouldn't want to work for Peloton right now with the way the company is growing, and as we know, their stock price is rising, and Peloton's in the mind's eye of everyone out there. I notice when I come across friends and clients in everyday life, you mention Peloton, which I often do, and everyone's heard of them. Everyone's seeing their adverts, and everyone pretty much knows about Peloton. You couldn't have said that 6, 12, 18 months ago. It's remarkable.
Yeah. And you had to throw in that stock rise, didn't you, right? We closed at 123 something on Friday. Had to just throw that in, Mark.
Why not?
It was, it is just insane. It's insane. I mean, it is, it's exciting. I think for myself as an owner, it continues to amaze me how they have just continued to slowly. I mean, it hasn't been too aggressive, but we've seen that stock rise. And as you said, they're sitting on a ton of money, and why not, continue to create an incredible environment for us as members. But Mark, it's interesting. As amazing as they are, I sit online and I look sometimes and I see folks that will still find stuff to complain about. And for me, that just makes it so frustrating. Just get on the bike and ride. Why do you have to find stuff to complain about? But anyway, with that being said, I think there's lots that we don't need to complain about. And one of that is the new feature that appeared on the Bike and Tread for some this week that I'm sure will make lots of folks happy. We wait in anticipation for this to be rolled out permanently, but Peloton began testing a feature to skip the intro to a class on demand. So instead of listening to the first minute of the instructor going over the knobs, cadence, and resistance, you can actually jump right on a ride or a run as soon as it's ready to begin. So with many users heeding the instructor's advice to do pre-ride warm-ups and follow a ride with a cool down, this will be an awesome feature. If one presses the skip intro, it will take you to 8 seconds before the intro ends. I unfortunately it hasn't popped up on my bike yet. I probably do need to power it down and restart it up again. But I have to tell you that I have started doing a lot of these pre-ride warm-ups and absolutely end a ride with a cool down. And one of the things that I do find frustrating is that I have to listen to to that intro that the instructor is giving prior to just jumping on and starting the ride. So for a warm-up, I don't mind it so much because you're kind of just getting started. But certainly for a cool down, it is frustrating to have that extra minute before the ride actually takes place. So I really do hope that rolls out quickly. I'm very much in favor for it. I think it's fantastic. And again, it's a choice that one has to make. You don't have to use it. The same as, on the new bike and the auto function. You can choose to use it or you can choose not to. So I really like the idea that that's something that's going to be
Amanda,
going to be offered.
100% in agreement with you. I think I too do the cool down rides, and it is frustrating, isn't it, having to wait that minute or 50 seconds or whatever it might be. It'd be great just to start the cool down straight away. So I think it's an immense addition to the whole experience. And it's on demand at the moment, and hopefully at some point in the future, maybe live classes. I don't know whether technology is going to allow that, but certainly to have it on demand is brilliant. And another addition, Amanda, this week, again to the iOS platform and the Apple TV, they added multiple user quick login support. Originally released in June, Amanda, the Peloton Apple TV app allows you to take any on-demand classes through a big screen TV connected to your Apple TV. At the launch, several drawbacks or missing features, including the lack of ability to connect Bluetooth, heart rate sensors, the fact you could only take on-demand classes and not live classes, collections weren't made available to browse, and that you had completely to log in and out to swap between users was a restriction. However, this week Peloton has fixed one of those issues by adding support for multiple users to be logged into Apple TV app. After logging in with your main user profile, you're presented with a screen listing all profiles that are tied to your account or that you've logged into previously. This screen will look familiar to those who are on the Peloton bike or tread users, as it's the same profile selection screen you're familiar with and use daily. And if you share your TV with someone else who wants to work out, gone are the days where you would have to completely log out and then manually type in your username and password. Now, when you click on the profile picture at the top right of the screen on your Apple TV, your profile page now has two options. The same logout button has always existed and is still there. In addition, there is a new switch account button that will take you to a screen showing you a list of all accounts that are tied to your profile. On the screen to log into account, you may click Manage Profiles to either remove profiles from the quick login screen or add an additional profile for easy access. This change should make it much easier for people sharing a TV to be able to have workouts and track their own account. Hopefully in the future, we'll see Peloton add some other highly requested features like live classes on the Apple TV, ability to browse collections, the Bluetooth sensor I mentioned, support, and much, much more. Amanda, I used the app on my Apple TV for the first time this week to do a Ben Aldi's strength class that you challenged me on last week, and it was a lot of fun. On top of this iOS update, Android TV and Amazon Fire TV app have added support for Bluetooth heart rate monitors. Peloton has been working on adding some long missing features to their big screen TV apps this week. Following the news that Apple TV now has multiple user support and quick swap login, Peloton has also released updates to both their Amazon Fire TV and Android TV Peloton apps to allow users to connect. With the sensors enabled, you'll now see your heart rate in the upper left portion of the screen while in a workout.
Interesting, right? This week also saw some new small tweaks that were added, Mark. The post-workout screen looks a little bit different. One now has a bar that appears at the top of the screen to rate the ride. While I found it convenient to have the pop-up window appear previously in the middle of the screen because it did allow us to be able to rate that right there, I worry a little bit. Some people actually complained about that, truthfully, and didn't like the fact that it popped up right in the middle of the screen because it did cover the instructor's face and you missed that portion of the ride. But I wonder now if less people will rate the activity due to the less obtrusive placement of where it is. I guess time will only tell with that, right? We also saw a tweak to the bike bootcamps, and you had mentioned to me that you just did a bike bootcamp. So one of the things that I had noticed when I had done my bootcamp a couple weeks ago was that when you get off the bike, your output continued to go and you suddenly like stopped and you didn't really know, it wasn't adjusted appropriately. So
Right.
One of the tweaks that they did this week was to average out the output. This one, I think that folks will be really pleased to see, Mark. So now your output is only calculated during the bike portion of the boot camp. Definitely makes much more sense. We've also heard that in the coming weeks, the bike boot camp classes will actually move to their own workout platform and their own workout type at least. So right now they're being included in the bike class library, whereas they are looking at actually taking those out of the bike class library and giving it their own platform. Peloton's also been working on class sections and class filters when looking for specific classes. So yoga, for example, saw the biggest change with filters that now include slow flow, focus flow, theme, and music. In fact, Mark, the new music filter is now being separated actually in every class type. So I just noticed that because I think music is such an important part of one's ride. A lot of people choose their ride based on what the music is going to be. So if you know you love doing a 70s or 80s ride, you're going to hop on that ride, right? If you prefer doing a rock ride, you're going to hop on that ride. So for someone like me, I don't enjoy rock music. It's not something that I want to do. I will just avoid those type of rides. But put me on a pop ride, or put me on a 70s or 80s ride, and I'm all about it. So I love the idea that now you can actually select it that way. I know that in the past we had the theme rides where you could kind of go on if there was a certain theme, but that definitely is going to make a huge difference. I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah, that's a great feature, Amanda. Throughout October, Peloton will be honouring the richness and vitality of Black culture in the United Kingdom through music and celebration. It originated in the United States. Black History Month was first introduced in London back in 1987, where the aim was for the local community to challenge racism and educate themselves and others about their history that was beyond the school curriculum. By acknowledging significant cultural moments around the world, Peloton hope to celebrate and enrich the values of their members and the community. As together we go forward. The Peloton made an official statement, Amanda, this week. And if I can read that, I think it's important. As we grow our Peloton membership in different countries, we feel it is important to recognise the history and uniqueness of communities in which we operate, as well as celebrate and inspire our members with whom we're building our Peloton family. As we at Peloton celebrate Black History Month in the UK this October, we are starting first by looking inwards and how we're showing up every day, reiterating our CEO John Foley's quote from the recent Peloton pledge. Important work starts from the inside out. At Peloton, we're on an important mission to be truly anti-racist organisation and to build a culture that is equitable and inclusive for all in all of the markets that we operate. This also includes striving to have an impact in our communities. Just this week, we've been proud that our team has supported Black Pound Day in the UK, where we matched every employee's spending with Black-owned businesses on the day. And we will extend this initiative for the entire month of October. And whilst our context in the UK may be special and unique from others around the world, our commitment to uplifting our Black community and standing for anti-racism is very important. Do you know what, Amanda? I guess it's the same in the United States as it is in the UK and possibly all around the world. There are issues with race, and it's no good saying that there isn't. But I really love how Peloton have come out here and showed support for the Black community. And even though it's only a small percentage in the United Kingdom, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference at all. We're honouring their history and we're honouring them. Interestingly, Kevin Cornills, the managing director of Peloton UK, came out with a smaller statement. But I think, again, it's important to read. He's the managing director of International, and he said, "We will be coming together to honour the heritage and local history of our African and Caribbean communities. We will be acknowledging each and every one of us, the value of our experience and the music that has connected to us across the generations. This is Black History Month UK." I think that was great. And again, the African and the Caribbean community, especially around London and cities like Birmingham, Leicester, Manchester, Leeds, it's really important to recognise those communities. So I take my hat off to Peloton.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Mark, so one part of that, you took the words were literally out of my mouth that I was about to say, but that is so true. I think that it is such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Just encompassing everybody and every aspect, whether it be us celebrating Latinx month that we have or Black History Month. I think that it's inclusive. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah. They are so inclusive of everybody. Sure. And, sure. That's what I'm so proud about it. We've mentioned before, there've been things that have happened, whether it be somebody not acknowledging a certain religion, or they kind of jump on it and they go with it and they work with the instructors. And remember, for a lot of the instructors too, a lot of them are you and me, they're, average folks, and they don't know how to address some of the things that go on. But this is just another way. And I love how diverse the group of instructors are. Sure. There's literally everybody there, and why not? We're all one. So, it's the slogan, together we go far. And as a group, together we go far. I think that's amazing and good for the UK acknowledging that in its own independent capacity. So Mark, I think for me, the most exciting thing to report in the news is the new ad campaign that was released this week. As we all remember, Peloton took a beating for their ad released last year. They have now changed gears significantly and are featuring members in the community and the millions of reasons why folks like you and I choose to join the Peloton family. In Peloton's blog, The Outpost, they have shared the stories of everyday folks, not athletes, influencers, but ordinary people just like Sadif T from Reading, Berkshire in the UK, who lives with her extended family, loves to bake, and is the chief pharmacist for a large healthcare organization. Sadif says that her Peloton bike has helped give her, and I quote, me space, but also allows her to spend more time with her children. Then, Mark, there's Gus M. from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gus landed up in Pittsburgh from South Florida on a football scholarship, but due to several injuries, never quite made it to the big leagues. But with his competitive drive, was always looking for something to keep him active. His wife and sister surprised him with the Peloton last Christmas, and he's never looked back. Loving the competitiveness of the leaderboard, as we all do, keeps him motivated to clip in and keep pedaling. There are so many more wonderful stories. It's just amazing, Mark. And Peloton have truly given us an opportunity to meet other members who all just work hard, crush their goals, and show up for one another. Why? I'll say it again, because together we go far. So I definitely think that has been truly the most amazing ad campaign that they've put out there, Mark. Even on their social media platforms, they've encouraged members to share their reasons why they do Peloton.
Yeah.
And as a social media enthusiast that I am, I went along with the campaign and followed Peloton's instructions to screenshot the frame, save the image, and then upload it to my story with my reason. Mark, I felt so honored as Peloton ended up using my post in their story.
I noticed that, Amanda. That was fantastic. I think the reaction of some of the guys over in the UK was, "Wow, Amanda's on the main page," which was brilliant. And not just that, Amanda. I mean, we've had interestingly, Christine D'Urkel is featured in the Insider magazine this week. She's now 49 and the only Peloton instructor who's also a decorated track cyclist. In fact, Masters World and National Cycling Champion. It's amazing because last year Christine was over in the UK, Amanda, and she was riding in Manchester in the I think it was the World Masters, and we were having a dialogue. And at one point we were hoping to meet up with Christine, but her schedule didn't allow it. But you know what? She talks about some interesting things in this magazine, and she says, and I'll quote: "True fitness is not just a strength and cardio training, but also building our mental threshold, our emotional endurance," she told the Insider. And I think that's so important, the mental side of things. And I know that Christine touches on that. And she said, "Grounded in the science of cycling and power of self-talk, I believe that the most powerful thing that we can do and the most unique opportunity we can have is to ride with confidence and ride with that mental awareness that, you know, we're doing good for our body, for our fitness, for our health." And Christine's fantastic. I love Christine. She's one of my favorite instructors. And I just think it's incredible that at 49, she doesn't look 49, that's for sure. But her fitness and her health is just amazing, Amanda.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. It is amazing. And it's funny because it kind of leads me onto the other thing that I wanted to mention, which was we take everything that these instructors say literally to heart. We love their sayings. And Peloton picked up on that. So, as you love, this article on Christine was just fantastic because, yes, it brought out another instructor and what they share with us. But something else that Peloton did, and another fun social media release, was that Peloton created GIFs. And I'm going to say GIFs and hesitate because some people say GIFs, some people say GIFs. I'm not quite sure what they call them. I call them GIFs, so we'll stay with GIFs. But they actually released, Mark, 409 GIFs or GIFs that are so much fun. Yep. They feature literally all of the instructors with their catchy phrases. So just to kind of run through a few, which I think is kind of fun, from Jess Sims' "I've got that glazed donut look," to Cody's "You got you, boo," Leanne's "Yes to you" and "Done and dusted," Alex's "Inhale the confidence, exhale the doubt," Ali loves "Peace and love, Peloton." Mark, I could go on and on and on, but I'll be using those in my Instagram and Facebook posts because I think that it's such a wonderful way to just, look. And again, I'll go back to my relationship with Leanne, and one of her absolutely catchphrases was "Yes to you." An entire Facebook group got created as the "Yes to You" crew. Hannah Frankson has an entire group behind her, which is the "Push crew." Ali Love, talks about being a boss, and she has her boss crew and her love squad crew as well. I mean, there's just so many. I could go on and on and on. So
I tell you what, we ought to do, Amanda. We ought to do a compilation one week, can't we, of all those sayings. brains on one video clip. I think that'd be
it'll be a mouthful, Mark.
It'll be great. Now, listen, one of the last pieces of news that we've got to talk about today is a subject that I don't really do. It's yoga, but Anna Greenberg, the Peloton yoga instructor, Amanda, has announced her first signature series, launching next Tuesday, the 6th of October, I should say. She's going to be exploring the crow pose and all the ways it can fly, face plant, build strength. A lot of this doesn't make sense to me, but hey, I am. And the grace and the help that Peloton and community can cultivate through doing these classes. Amanda, I don't know if you can do the crow pose.
Well, Mark, it's so funny because now we forgot to mention it when we opened up the show today. And I'm not letting you off the hook here, my friend. I am not letting you off the hook here. You can challenge me to a yoga crow series challenge, but let's talk a little bit quickly about that strength challenge that I put out there to you last week, my friend.
Yeah, well, I did it, Amanda. I did one class. I'll be honest, right? And I mentioned it earlier on the Apple TV. So I got it streaming to my big screen TV in the snug in my house, and I laid the mat down and I did my first strength class with Ben Aldis. And Amanda, it was hard. I mean, some of those positions he was getting me to get into it wasn't quite at the yoga level, but it was difficult. And then this morning I did a live boot camp class with Cody, and that was really interesting. Well, half the time on the bike, half the time on the floor. So I've kind of done 1.5 classes. So
I'm very proud of you.
Can you let me off?
I'm very proud of you. No, I have to tell you, I think that's amazing, and I think and I think that way, in order to be able to keep that going, is something that we need to do. We need to continue doing these amazing things that Peloton are offering us. And that kind of goes on to our artist series. They are constantly offering new artist series, rides, runs, yoga, strength, incorporating different artists that are out there. There were 2 new artist series that dropped, one from last week and continuing this week too with Alicia Keys. And then coming up next week, we have, to continue celebrating Latinx Heritage Month, is Cuban singer Celia Cruz, who was one of the most popular Latin artists of the 20th century. Cruz rose to fame in 1950s and went on to being known as the Queen of Salsa, or the Queen of Latin music. Mark, I can only imagine what a party on the bike or tread it will be riding or running to her music. And I'm looking really forward to seeing that come together. So
don't challenge me again, please.
No, we have a challenge. We have our yoga challenge. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this one up, but okay, maybe one yoga something this week. Can we challenge each other to that?
Yeah, why not?
One yoga challenge. Why not?
Do it.
All right, one yoga challenge. Let's go for it, Mark. I've never done yoga before. I am challenging you to one yoga something.
Okay. And I'll challenge you back. Okay, we're on it.
I love it.
Amanda, the last bit of news this week evolves around our German community, and this is great. The 3rd of October has represented 30 years since the reunification of East and West Germany. To celebrate this, the German instructors Eric and Irene held 2 20-minute classes, and you earned a badge if you took the class, which was great. A side note, Amanda, to this is that the classes are now have English subtitles, so maybe it's a good idea for members to take them.
That's amazing. Yep. You know what? It's funny because I did actually jump on Irene's ride last week, I guess it was, the Unity ride. And I jumped off because it was all in German and I didn't understand it. And I really wanted to do it. I have to tell you, there were a couple, I think it was because of Daniel that we had interviewed on the show.
That's right.
Daniel had messaged me and said, are you going to do it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I jumped on and jumped off because, it was fun to see her, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. So
now we've got a class with subtitles.
Amazing.
No excuse.
Wow.
No excuse.
So no excuse. I'm looking forward to that.
Let's get to know another person behind the leaderboard name in Pelo Chats.
This week we have a very special guest, wheelchair basketball gold medal winner in London, silver in Beijing and Rio, 5 times European Championship, 2 times runner-up of at the World Championships, 3 times recipient of the German Silver Laurel Leaf. The Silver Laurel Leaf is Germany's highest award for achievement in the world of sport, amongst other things. And this is all before switching to handbiking in 2019. Mark and I have the privilege of welcoming Annika Zeyen.
Annika, welcome. We are really thrilled to have you on the show. A little different to our regular Pelo chats, but we're so impressed by your accomplishments and achievements, it felt only apt to focus on how, regardless of disability, can be to a superstar. So Annika, if you wouldn't mind sharing with our community how you did end up in a wheelchair and how you came to find wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, thank you both so much. It's great to be on the show. So I've been in a wheelchair since I was 14 years old. I had a horseback riding accident, and after that I was in rehabilitation at the hospital. And there I tried out playing wheelchair basketball for the very first time. And it was like a big relief for me to find out that there's actually sport for people in wheelchairs, because I've always been very athletic. And then once I knew I could still do sport, everything seemed to be fine.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible, Annika. I can't even imagine. Having to have, as you said, being someone that was athletic and was out there, and suddenly to be faced in a situation like that. But, we see this often. We see this amazing, how one can be so resilient, and it gives us pause. There's no question that it gives one that moment of pause. And here we all are, clearly this is a community that has some with no athleticism and is now, jumping on the bike and are becoming active, on the Peloton bike. So it's amazing to see that, regardless of disability, one can find their path somewhere, to keep going. So an important question. I mean, here you've gone from, being this incredible athlete. What is it like competing at the top level? Certainly at the Paralympics, and then of course going on to winning gold in London. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a great honor to represent Germany at any international competitions. And of course, the Paralympic Games are like the biggest sport event, bigger than like World Championships, because you have like so many different sports. And it's just amazing to be there and then to win a gold medal. That's absolutely unbelievable, because every Olympic or Paralympic athlete dreams about winning gold at Olympic or Paralympic Games. And when you achieve that, that's the best thing.
The ultimate, right? It's the ultimate that you kind of. Could you ever have imagined that? Thinking back to your youth, would you have ever imagined of being, this unbelievable successful athlete?
I mean, I was dreaming about it, but there's like so few people who can actually achieve that. So it's amazing that I'm one of them, and
I have shivers. It's
an amazing story, Annika. And I know when Amanda and I were preparing for this chat, we were just staggered by your accomplishments. They're really great. What made you choose to go to a different sport after Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in 2016? I'm curious.
So I had been playing wheelchair basketball on the national team from 2001 until 2016. So very, very long time. I'm the most kept player in Germany. And then I just decided that it would be time to focus on other things, because with like the combination of playing for the national team and also playing in the Bundesliga, the first division for wheelchair basketball in Germany, there was never like a free weekend or like time for like vacation. And like doing that for like so many years, it was just the right time to retire from playing wheelchair basketball. But because I love sports so much and I love training, I just tried something new. And in an individual sport, you're like a lot more flexible in terms of like what time you train and like which competitions you compete in, because like in a team sport, of course, you always have to like train with the team and you have like games every single weekend. But in an individual sport, it's a little different. So that's why I decided to switch.
Right. And then, right. Yeah. But then not only, okay, so here you're this accomplished basketball Paralympic, or, you know, all the accomplishments you've done, and you switch over to hand biking. And then you go on to win the world championship in hand cycling at your first attempt. I mean, who are you? Seriously, who are you? I mean, that to me is just unbelievable. So again, that feeling, you know, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right?
Yeah, I mean, I work really hard for like my successes, and I worked really hard for hand cycling, but still I never like believed that I could win the world championship title. That was, yeah, absolutely amazing and absolutely surprising. Like even like throughout the whole race, I had no idea that I would be able to win it in the end.
It's amazing. So tell us what a typical day in the life of Annika's training is all about. Tell us kind of what is expected from somebody that's just so accomplished.
My days are pretty busy. So usually my first training session starts at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning. I usually train for 2 hours in the morning, and then I shower and get ready to go to work. I don't work full time, but I work 60% so that I still have enough time for training. So then I work, and then after work I do my second training session for the day. And it's different on different days. So like some days I'm in the gym and do like weights. And then on other days it's like 2 sessions on the bike. I also do CrossFit. So yeah, it never gets boring training. And yeah, in the winter most of the training is indoors, basically having the bike on a roller, so similar to being on a Peloton bike. And then in the summer a lot of the sessions are outdoors on the streets.
How many kilometers a week would you be doing, Annika? I bet it's quite a few, isn't it?
It's not always the same, but I can easily do like 400 kilometers a week.
Oh my word! That is insane. Oh my!
It's a few more kilometers than we do on the bike, Amanda, isn't it?
Well, just a few more, right? And here I thought that I was so fantastic about my few thousand day. That's unbelievable. So so tell us, Annika, do you have a special diet you know that you keep in order to, you know, fuel yourself with all this training that you do?
Yes, I mean nutrition is very important, and to eat the right foods at the right time. Of course, like before a race you need like carbs, and then after weight training of course you need like lots of protein. Also like after like long training sessions you need to make sure that like you get the carbs and protein back. So yeah, it's nutrition is a really important part of being an athlete.
And obviously you're doing all this training, which is phenomenal. But do you have a normal job? Did you have a job that you do every day, or?
Yes, so I work as a brand manager at the International Paralympic Committee. And as I mentioned earlier, I don't work full-time. I work 60% so that I can still do my training.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. And great to see that they're looking after you in that way and allow you to continue doing your training as well as accomplishing work that you set out in your everyday job. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do both.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Amazing. So Annika, what could Peloton look at doing, either with equipment or classes that you could be part of the Peloton community, to help with adaptive athletes. What would you like to see from the Peloton world that you could be part? Because clearly your fiance Chris is a huge Peloton, avid community member, as we all know. So and you've obviously followed him on his journey. So tell us, what you would feel that Peloton could offer you.
I mean, it would be amazing if there was in the future a Peloton bike that would be like a hand cycle that you can actually use with your arms. Like for me, that would be great. But other than that, I think everybody could also just basically use an iPad and join the Peloton classes, for example. I think that would also be nice.
Annika, there's rumours you may not know or may know that there may be a rower coming at some point in the future. We don't know when, but there's certainly rumours of that. Is that something that, again, could be adapted for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think that could be possible. I would have to see it, but I, for example, use rowing machines when I do my CrossFit training.
Sure.
So that could be a good option.
Interesting.
Amazing. Well, Annika, what we do with our Pelo Chat community is we do something fun called our Descent and Recovery. We'll obviously change things around just a little bit for you, but since you are such an amazing athlete and are still very active, we'd love to go ahead and just ask you a bunch of questions, give you 60 seconds to answer them, and get to hear how you fare. Are you up for that?
Sure, sounds good.
Great. So we begin. Early bird or night owl rider?
Night owl rider.
Okay. High resistance or high cadence?
High resistance.
Climbing hills or going down hills?
I like to climb hills, but afterwards going downhill is awesome.
Great answer. Okay. Greatest sporting moment? It's got to be loads, but yeah, have you got a special one?
Well, I actually have to mention two. So one is winning the gold medal at the London 2012 Paralympic Games. And the other one is winning the World Championship title last year at the World Championships.
Brilliant. Best piece of advice you have ever received?
I think, that hard work pays off is a really good advice, because I really believe in working hard.
Brilliant. And last question, we've got it 2 seconds. What are your ambitions? Quick.
Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. It would be great to win a medal. And of course, because of Corona, it has been postponed to next year. So it's still called the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games, but it's going to be in 2021.
That's going to be brilliant, though. I tell you, I think me and Amanda will be watching those games, aren't we, Amanda?
Oh, no question, Annika. No? So, Annika, with all those amazing accomplishments, I know that folks are going to want to follow you and get to hear a little bit more about you. I know that over the last few months, I have been so honored to have followed you on your social media, and I know that you're on Facebook, Instagram. So how can we find you? Because I know for a lot of the community, this is just so inspiring and quite unbelievable. So tell us, how can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Annika_Zeyen. And I'm glad about any new followers and any messages you want to send me. I'm happy to talk to anyone.
Annika, it's been a real pleasure having you on, and we often say, don't we, Amanda, will you come on again? Because I think your story is going to continue. Maybe after the Olympics next year, it'll be a good opportunity to have you back on, and hopefully you'll have had a successful Olympics. But in the meantime, it's been a real pleasure. It's been a different Pelo Chats, hasn't it, Amanda? But it's been
absolutely
great.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm sitting here, completely in awe. I've certainly, as I said, I have been following you over the last few months, as I've gotten to learn a little bit more about you, and it is absolutely, as I said, it's inspiring. It just shows that with as you said, with hard work, with ambition, with drive, anybody can do anything. So with that, I am going to go jump on the bike and go and pedal away for the next little bit to try and get somewhere to where you are. But truly an honor and a pleasure. So thank you for taking the time today to join us. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Annika. Thanks very much.
Thank you both so much. It's been fun.
All right, take care, love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's time to celebrate our fans' milestones with Pelo Shouts.
82 in, 52 gone, happy 500 today. That is incredible. I'm proud of you. I am so proud of you, team.
We've got Demolition. Happy century, happy birthday. Many happy returns. The best to spend your birthday with you in the morning.
Yeah? Woo! Come on, Handbike 84, I see you. Let's go.
Great work, Big Darth Sod. Happy 500 today. What a name that is.
Did you hit a milestone this week and get a shout out by your favorite instructor? Don't forget to let us know.
Another jam-packed week, Mark, wasn't it? Unbelievable. So many news stories, just amazing. Probably for me, one of the most interesting was the field testing and the new ad campaign that they're doing.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed interviewing Annika. What an amazing lady she is.
Well, thank you so much for watching yet another jam-packed episode. Look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.